What separates the people that make money sports betting to the ones that continue to donate to the books? It's not luck, it's not insider info, it's two simple habits. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what they are and how to build them. My name's Dustin, and if you're tired of losing money to the sports books, I promise you found the right video, so you might want to stick around. This could just be the turning point of your betting career. Myself and many other people have formed these two habits that have allowed us to consistently make money sports betting, and that makes up about probably 2% of the world that are actually profitable sports bettors. Well, they are probably all doing exactly this. Habit number one is removing your emotions from your sports betting. There's many different things I mean when I say that, but first, let's start with this. Just stop betting with your gut. Let's be real, betting with your gut is fun until you realize all you're doing is losing and going broke. You feel like Patrick Mahomes is gonna go off today, or the Lakers just have to cover, or you see a guy heating up, or a team on a win streak, or even a guy that you think is due. Well, unfortunately, you're only gonna lose money betting this way. It's emotional and impulsive, and that's why this habit is the hardest habit to build when you want to become a profitable sports bettor, because you are letting go of the fun side of betting. The adrenaline, the ride with the boys mentality, all of that's gone. But once you remove your emotions from your bets and actually start betting bets that give you an edge against the sports books, you are going to see a noticeable difference in your bankroll over the long term. Most professional sports bettors, and even myself, remove our emotions so much that we don't even watch the games we bet on because it doesn't matter. Whether I'm watching the game or I'm hanging out with my family, enjoying my time, the outcome of the game is going to be the same. I am not going to change it because my eyes are on a TV watching my bet play out. No, it's only going to stress me out and make me more emotional, and maybe even cause me to throw in a bet to try and get my money back if I'm about to lose, which you don't want to do. When you make bets based on a feeling, you're gambling. But if you make bets that have an edge against the sportsbooks consistently, you are an investor. So until you make that switch mentally from fan to investor, you're only going to keep donating your money to the books. Which brings me to habit number two. Bet with an edge. Make sure that every bet you place has an edge, and you are not just betting these random wild bets that you were before. Where most casual sports bettors go wrong is that they assume because a bet has two sides that there's a 50-50 chance for this bet to hit no matter which button they click. And that's just simply not true. Oftentimes there is a more likely outcome for one side of the bet and a less likely outcome for the other side. That's how sportsbooks odds work. The odds that are set at a sportsbook imply the probability or percent chance this bet has of hitting. For instance, typically the minus number on a sports bet means that this is favored to happen, right? This is a better chance to happen than the other side of that bet, which is oftentimes showing a plus odds number. Plus odds means that it is the underdog or the least likely thing to happen across those two bets. Using this implied probability calculator, I'm going to show you two examples. If a sportsbook was to be pricing something at plus 150 odds, that means that they believe this has only a 40% chance to hit. However, if a sportsbook gave it minus 150 odds, they would believe that this has a 60% chance to hit. Therefore, based on the odds the sportsbook is setting, this is not a 50-50 bet. So now that you understand implied odds or probability, you need to learn how to find the true or fair odds percent that these sportsbooks are actually giving these plays to hit, which is exactly how you find plays with an edge. Let me show you. And I'll be honest, the easiest and most efficient way for you to be able to find plays that have an edge and give you the best chance to win long-term when sports betting are by using tools like Daily Grind Fantasy or OddsJam that are going to help you compare sportsbooks lines and odds directly back to different DFS apps like PrizePicks or other sportsbooks like FanDuel and DraftKings to find the best possible value. These tools do all of the hard work for you. So not only do they scan the market and pull all of this information into one place at one time for you to easily be able to read and see where the sportsbooks are at, but they do the math on the back end to devig these lines, remove the juice from the sportsbooks, what the sportsbooks are charging you for just placing this bet, to find the true fair odds percentage or odds percent to hit the sportsbooks are really giving these plays. Let's dive into the top play off Daily Grind Fantasy's PrizePicks Optimizer and explain why this is a good play on PrizePicks. Well, as you can see, it is telling you to take the Nerfy or the under of 0.5 runs in the first inning for the Giants-Guardians game. But why is that? That is because if we scan the sportsbook market, we could see that all of these major sportsbooks are pretty heavily favoring the under to happen at average odds of minus 135, which after Daily Grind Fantasy does the math in the back end, results in a true fair odds percentage or odds percent to hit being given by these sports books at about a 54.34% chance to hit. And if you didn't know, on prize picks in 5 and 6 man flexes, you are getting each individual leg at minus 119 odds. So we are getting a play here in this under of 0.5 runs in this game at minus 119 odds, when really it should be minus 135 because the sports books are all agreeing this has a good chance to hit the under based off of those odds. So the odds of minus 119 make 0 sense when the entire market is telling us this is a much better chance to hit based off the odds they are setting. Simply put, this play has an edge and is exactly what you're looking for. You have 8 different data points from these major sharp sportsbooks that are all agreeing against one outlier in prize picks that this has a much better chance to hit than what minus 119 odds says it does. I mean, really, are you going to trust that prize picks is setting this line correctly at minus 119, or the 8 other data points that have multi-million-dollar algorithms and models taking everything into consideration when they set their odds and projections? Of course, you are going to trust the 8 different data points that are all agreeing that this has a better chance to hit. So really, you could take these top 5 plays off Daily Grind's Fantasy Optimizer here on Prize Picks and play them in a 5 flex slip together and have a plus EV play that gives you a long-term edge against Prize Picks, because on Prize Picks 5 and 6 man flexes, you need to be right on your individual legs above 54.2% of the time in order for you to be profitable over the long term. And if you take the average fair odds percentage of each of these plays, it is going to be above that number. So this would be a great slip to toss in on Prize Picks. Now, not only can you find plays with an edge on Prize Picks using Daily Grind Fantasy, but also other different DFS apps, including Underdog, Better Picks, and more. If you guys did want to check out Daily Grind Fantasy, I'll leave a link down in the description below, but if you use my code DustinDGF48, you'll actually get 25% off your very first month. So Daily Grind Fantasy will help you find the best value on those different DFS apps, but if you're looking to gain an edge with every bet you place on major sports books like FanDuel or DraftKings, you're going to need OddsJam that pretty much works the exact same way as Daily Grind Fantasy. It helps you scan the sportsbook market and compare it back to these different sports books to find the best possible value. For instance, Hunter Goodman over 0.5 player RBIs at plus 155 is what's being recommended off the plus EV tool here at OddsJam. But why is that? That is because the entire sportsbook market is having this at average odds of plus 122. So plus 122, when you have all these different data points, basically is telling us that this has a much better chance to hit than where FanDuel is pricing it at plus 155 odds. And here's another example. Miles Turner to go over 1.5 blocks in the next game of the NBA Finals. It's telling us to take this at minus 110 on DraftKings because the entire sportsbook market agrees this has almost a minus 140 chance to go over 1.5 blocks. So it's a great bet at the odds of minus 110, where the implied probability is much less than what the market says it's at. I know it seems crazy, but it really is this simple. All you need to do is listen to these tools and get these bets in at volume, and over the long term, you're gonna come out profitable. There's no need to bring emotions or stress into this. Guys, you are not going to hit every play you play because you are using tools like this. Unfortunately, there are going to be losing streaks, but treat this like flipping a weighted coin. If I had a coin that 55% of the time it's going to land on heads and 45% of the time it's going to land on tails, I took heads, you took tails. Sure, you're gonna go on a stretch where you hit tails 10, 12 times in a row, but over 1,000 flips, I am going to come out landing on heads more times than tails comes out. So trust the data, trust math, and stick to the process, and that's how you're gonna be successful and become a profitable sports bettor. Hopefully this video helped set off your light bulb and made you realize that, wow, there really is a way to be a profitable sports bettor, and it's not by throwing crap at a wall or betting with my gut. No, you can actually use a mathematically proven strategy to help you become a profitable bettor. If you did have that light bulb moment, let me know in the comments. And of course, if you have any other questions, drop them below as well. But if you guys enjoyed this video and or learned something, make sure you guys leave a like and don't forget the subscribe button on the way out, as I post sports betting content like this every single week.